leaving a big crease right there in his forehead. I'm going back to the tool I was just holding by hand. Right, I can put it in my handle if I need to, but I don't really need to. Cottonwood, again, carves are really easy, so I'm just going to come across up here, leaving room for eyebrows. Alright, see that? I'm going here. Just kind of take some wood off there. You want the forehead above them kind of flat. Okay. Now, that's where we're going to leave that for right now. Just to separate those eyebrows a little bit. Right. I'm going back to the nose. I'm going to clean that up on the sides a little. And I'm going to go out from here, the corner of his eye. I want to push that over a little bit because there's little divots here on the sides of the temple. So I'm just going to scoop a little wood out of there. Make it go pretty far across so I have room to get that eye in. Okay. Now don't worry about all the little pieces that are up in here. They clean up pretty fast. Right. If you have all these little fuzzies, get a piece of 220. Sand that up. It'll come right out. Alright, now we have established where we want to put the nose, the eyes, right, the forehead. Down here is going to be a mustache. We're going to round all this off, right, and then we can draw lines for our mustache and everything. But you can see his face already starting to shape up, right. So what I'm going to do is take that flat gouge again. I'm going to round this over underneath his nose. Just to keep everything kind of flowing off to the side. Again, I'm keeping it high in the middle. Watch out you don't cut your nose off there. I always like to round out to the sides. Make sure I have room. Put everything else a little high on this side, and I have a divot on this side, which is still not quite as symmetrical as the other side because the shape of the wood, but could make them look pretty neat. Actually, when we're done, so keep smoothing that over, make it round this way. Okay, so you're trying to go around this way. Leave yourself plenty of room on the sides, especially by the eyes, because when you put an eye in, and then you want eyebrows and stuff up here, you won't have room over here unless you clear enough wood away on the sides. Alright? Still trying to keep it framed. Pretty good with that bark. And shaping the nose a little. And down in here, I'm going to angle that nose just a little cleaner. Because we're going to add some nostrils later on. Okay. Starting to look a little bit like somebody. Alright, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go to a round gouge. This right here is the same one that I used before. It's a little bit too big, maybe. Well, I guess it'll work. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the corner. These are round here, so if I would actually dig that in just a little bit, I would see about the roundness. The tip of the nose is round. Okay, so I'm going to kind of give myself a round point at the bottom there. Push that in to round it off. Just like that. Okay, now I have the roundness at the tip of the nose, and I'm going to pick up where I just left off. Make sure that's established good. Pick up where I just left off and invert this gouge. And right at the end where that last cut was, I'm going to dig it in, and over to the corner, I'm going to dig real deep, okay? Just like that. Same thing on this side. Turned over, dig it in, and round that over to the corner, pretty deep. Then we're going to remove the chips out from underneath here with the same gouge. Trying to go slow enough so you can see. I don't really know how good you can see on the camera. I'm hoping when I go to edit this that you can see everything I'm doing. Okay. So you see how we established the wing angle here, right? If one's a little higher than another, you can mess around with it. You know, you can always change the features. And like I said, if it's a little bit off, no biggie. He's still going to end up looking pretty neat when we're done, I think. Okay? Now, that gives us a point to put our nostrils in. Now you can use a knife. We could draw them in, make sure they're symmetrical. You know, let's try that. I'll show you with the marker. So this one over here we want to keep maybe like this. Okay. This one might be a little bit off, so if I look at it with the marker it might be a little off. I might want to take this side of the nose down a little so I can make it look like the other side. Right. So this one's a little small, so I'm going to come in here a little closer and shave give myself a little more room by taking some off on each side of that round part that we had established at first with the gouge. See, carving's all about troubleshooting, and then again smooth that up with an inverted gouge. Might be able to get in there a little better now. Alright. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to invert this gouge. And I'm going to come from the side here. I'm going to push it in. Just like that. Okay. I'm going to do the same on this side. And you kind of want to eye this, even though I have lines there. I'm not really caring if I'm on the line or not. I'm trying to make it so it's pretty much symmetrical. So I'm just, see how I'm pushing that into the wood there? Okay, then you can come up from underneath here and remove that chip. I didn't set that real tight yet because I want to see how good it looks, right? It doesn't look too bad, so I'm going to dig it in deeper now. And really set that nose. Okay. Just like that. And we can always shave those lines off. You know, and sand them up later. Now, I like high nostrils up in here. I also like to come down underneath and give them a little bit more of a wing, so I'm going to move the gouge, keep it right in the same circle, but I'm going to move it down. Kind of just rotating it down here, alright? Just rotating it down around the nostril to keep it clean and keep the same line. And then I'm just going to push it in again. Now it's a little below, okay? There. And that'll give the bottom wing angle, right? Or the bottom part of the nostril anyway. Again, setting it in, make sure it's in the same hole, the same groove. Sometimes I might shave it a little more. I'm going to just turn it, bring it down, keep it in the same groove, and give it a little twist there. Now I'll remove a little bit of wood underneath that, and that part will stand out. And I'll give them the bottom part of the nose a little more. Okay? Give me the impression the nose is coming down a little. Sometimes you might have to shave that off a little at the bottom. That way it just doesn't look stuck on there. Okay, now we're going to need to get some wood out of there to have room for eyes. I did make the nose a little higher than I usually like to. I'm going to take a knife. I'm going to pick up this wing angle right here, or that smile line is what it is. I'm going to dig my knife in and follow that gouge cut. Kind of like just a little soft action. I'm going to pick up that line and bring it down, and right from the nostril over to that line where I just put a stop cut, following the smile line there. I'm going to take that chip out. See how it sets the nose back in there a little bit? Okay. Do the same on this side. Dig my knife in, go around the nostril, underneath, pick up at the top, draw me a little bit of a stop cut right there. That's going to be the beginning of his other smile line. I'm going to pop that chip out. On the outside. Don't be afraid to make more than one cut. Okay, and just take that out. Just trying to get this nose to stand out away from the face a little bit more, and then underneath it, of course, we'll round it over, and we'll put some heavier detail in later. Don't worry about it if he looks a little chipped up. You can always take your gouge, go back in there, and smooth it back up. This nostril right here, we might have to trim a little. Get it to be even. And once we have the look we're looking for, then you can dig it out a little bit better. Right in the corners there. So you really establish that smile line. Okay? Good. Now, have to draw a mustache and have to give him a little more room for the eyes. We're going to do that with a small gouge. Okay, I have a small gouge here. Very tiny, right? A lot smaller than the ones we use for the nose. I'm not really good with sizes unless I look at them and know exactly. All I know is that's the size I need.